Hello and welcome back once again. Let's get start today's class. So today's class will be very interesting and exciting. Let's get start lesson number 13. So student, I'm really excited to teach you all of the things which are coming up on your way. Let's get start today's class. So, in the introduction, I would like to welcome all of my new listeners and the previous one. Hello, smart learner. How are you? How is life going on? Tell me in the comment section. Let's have a quick chit chat. So, yeah, it's very important to have a quick discussion with all of you. And in the previous class, we explored non-action states. Likewise, we studied about SMR. Today, we are going to cover past non-action, and also we'll cover the future non-action will be in the next lesson, lesson 14. So, in today's class, today we are going to talk about past non-action. In the previous lesson, as I told you that we were studying about is, am, are, and I told you where to use is, where to use am, and where to use are. In today's class, we are going to explore past non-action. Non-action sentences are basically those sentences in which we usually don't use any verb. That's why they are called non-action, non-state, in which we are going to use adjectives to define and modify our sentences. For example, the weather was cold, she was there, we were friends, they were so good. So these are some of the examples which I have shared. Now, what are, past state sentences basically? So the past state sentences, as I told you, we don't use any verb, we don't use any action. Instead of that, we use adjectives, right? Past action describes past using was for the singular and were for the plural. And also we are going to use adjectives or any noun. She was happy, they were students, they were stubborn, they were fat, I was skinny, I was cute in my childhood, I was fat. So these are some of the non-action states which I am going to use to express my feelings, my emotions, any idea that is associated with the past. For the differentiate between past and present, there is the only differentiate that is the helping verb. We use ismr with the present and we use was and were with the past. Whenever we are talking about ismr, that indicates present tense, and whenever we are using was and were, that indicates past, clearly past. So students, here we have learned how we can indulge into the sentences using very simple but clear. So let's move towards more example of was. As I told you, we use was with a singular noun and with the pronouns I was, she was, he was, it was. So these are some of the sentences. He was a doctor, the sky was cloudy. So make some sentences using yesterday, telling me something about yesterday, and using was, right? So we are supposed not to use verb in the non-action state, as in the non-action states, they are non-action because we are not using verb. Whenever we are using verb, that is called action statements. And in action statements, definitely we can use forms of verbs. In the upcoming series, we are going to explore verb also together, as verb is a very important part of a speech in English grammar. And now we are moving towards our, major lessons. So I would suggest all of you to go through all of the previous lesson, have a quick reinforcement, so it will be better for all of you to cope up with the upcoming series. Now, students, we are moving towards were. We use were with the pronouns, right? Likewise, and with the pronouns, we use we were, they were. Students were. Children's were. They were friends, we were busy. Talk about your past plans using were. For example, you can say, they were my students. So here there is no action. That's why this is called non-action. So students, this is a very unique, topic. We usually use this topic in our speaking, in our daily life conversation, in our practice. And now we are moving towards the structure. As every sentence has a structure, its format, right? So here the structure is very simple. You can use subject. Subject means any noun, any pronoun. Was and were, and adjective. So it's very simple yet very beautiful. You can make thousands of sentences using this small structure. I would suggest students not to go into difficulty, as from day first up till now. That is the rule I would like to add here. That clear and simple sentence rather than difficult and wrong sentences will lead you to be a better speaker. So you have to make clear but small sentences will be enough. Now we are moving towards activity. In the activity, basically the purpose of the activity is to engage you and give you the task so that you can practice at home. I know some of the students are very eager in learning English. I know that. That's why these activities are basically designed for your better understanding of any topic. I would suggest all of my students English is not a piece of cake, but yet it's not so difficult to understand and speak. It's all the matter of consistency and practice. Once you start practicing English with a consistency, you will have a command on it. There is nothing to be difficult and worry about. I will all suggest my students and all of my students to have a practice on it. Be consistent on it. This is the only goal that can lead you to be a better speaker. As in the previous class, I talk about the sentences. Sentences means the types of sentences: affirmative, negative, interrogative. So, yeah, in this, we are going to convert some of the affirmative sentences into the negative sentences. I would like to share some of the affirmative sentences of past action, past non action, and you are supposed to make it into the negative one. Negative sentences are very simple and also useful. In negative sentences, we are just supposed to use not, not, not word after helping verb. Was not, were not. The contraction of the was not and were not is wasn't, weren't. For example, he was not sad. They were not there. You can use the contraction also. He wasn't sad. They weren't there. They weren't cute. She wasn't fat. So it is up to you if you want to use was not or if you want to use wasn't, weren't. And students, just keep this in mind. Whenever you are making sentences, non-action sentences, you're not supposed to use verb here. Again and again, I'm telling you this to make you better understand that when we are defining any object, its feelings, the idea, we are not supposed to use verb. These were some of the examples which I have shared. Now you have to convert them into the negative. As I told you, there are different types of sentences: affirmative, negative, interrogative, interrogative. In the next lessons, we are going to explore also the types of sentences in detail. So you will come to know the idea of different types of sentences. Activity number 2. In the activity number 2, you have to change to negative. Switch it. Sentences: she was excited. They were happy. You have to change these sentences into negative sentences now. To convert these negative sentences, you are just supposed to use not, not, not. Not no, no, no is not going to use here. You are supposed to use with the helping verb and not. So, students, I would suggest you to make more sentences by your own self to make it, more understandable. Also, don't make it complex sentences. I would not suggest you to make complex sentences. Rather, we can use simple sentences for the betterment of our speaking. In the next lesson, we are going to explore future non-action sentences also. So now in total, we are going to cover up present non-action, past non-action, and future non-action. In the non-action, again I'm just repeating it, have a quick reinforcement. We are not supposed to use any verb. Now we are moving towards interrogative. Interrogative means question sentences, not affirmative, not negative, interrogative. Interrogative means question sentences. What you are going to do is that in the question sentences, the structure is very simple. Helping verbs comes in front, then subject. So what you are going to use is that you are going to put was and were and then subject and then adjective. For example, you can write it, was he there? Were they ready? So these are some of the examples of interrogative. What you are supposed to do is that you are going to make some interrogative question in the comment section and I will answer. So it's a kind of a fun activity that you can ask any question from your teacher and I would love to answer all of your questions. You can ask any question using past, non-action, was and were. Let's have a quick reinforcement now. We are moving towards to the revision and reinforcement. In today's class, we explored past, state sentences. Let's have a quick recap. We used was and were, where to use was, where to use were. We made some affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are the question sentences. So, let's explore together the world of English. Let's share the knowledge as possible as we can. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this lesson and if you want to add more value to your English speaking, hit on the bell icon to the Smart English with Miss Bushra. Stay tuned, stay connected. Have a lovely journey of English in the world of English together. Let's explore the knowledge. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe and don't forget to hit on the bell icon. Bye bye.